Hey, what up, guys? This is Serg from Team Boss. Duel like a boss. And today I'll be showing you guys my custom Yu-Gi-Oh deck that I've been working on. So rather than go with Inzectors or Six Sands or some meta deck like that, I decided to work on something unique, something different. Okay, and to start off, here we go. For monsters, I've got 2 Marauding Captains, 2 Junk Synchrons, 2 X-Saber Pustules, 2 Cyber Gymnasts, 2 Effect Veilers, a Flamvell Fire Dog Flamvell Magician combo, BLS, Envoy of the Beginning, Exploder Dragon, Maneater Bug, a Giant Rat, a Sangan, Gagaga Magician, Dandelion, and Mysterious Guard. So one thing I try to do with my deck a lot is always have my 2 captains. I'm thinking about adding a 3rd so that I can always have 2 monsters on the field. One of the reasons for choosing cards like Cyber Gymnast is because it's a quick destroy card. You summon him and you discard a card to destroy a face-up attack position monster. It's a card that's kind of been lost. It took me forever to find. I carry a Maneater Bug and an Exploder Dragon to destroy any monster on the field that's giving me a hard time. Obviously I've got 2 Searchers, which are fundamental in any deck. I was thinking of going with a Penguin Soldier, but I found this guy in an old shoebox, so I decided to test him in this deck. It's Mysterious Guard. He's a flip effect monster. When he's flipped, you get to send 1 face-up monster to the top of the deck, and if you've got a warrior on the field, you can send another one back to the owner's hand. And as you can see, I've got a few warriors, so that usually does work out a little. Gagaga Magician, with a lot of people doing Exceed monsters, I thought this would be an interesting card to play because I've got a few myself, and you can declare a level between 1 and 8, so that usually works. Flamvell Magician, Flamvell the Fire Dog combo usually always works, and it gets you an instant Synchro or an instant Exceed summon. And of course 2 Veilers for those monsters that you just have a hard time with. So that's it for my monsters. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my spells now. For spells, I've got 1 Hammer Shot, 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 The Warrior Returning Alive, 1 Book of Moon, 1 MST, 1 Pot of Duality, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Monster Reborn. You know, most of these cards, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn, MST, Book of Moon, you know, the cards that a lot of decks have. But seeing that my deck is mostly warrior based, I decided to throw in Reinforcement of the Army to be able to get a captain straight into my hand and do 2 summons in 1 turn. The Warrior Returning Alive, in case I've got a captain in the graveyard, I can always return them to my hand and do another summon. Pot of Avarice, because let's say both of my captains, I've got a few tuners in there, I can always bring them back into my deck and have a chance of drawing them again for more combos. Hammer Shot, just something I thought I'd try. It's been working okay so far. And of course, Pot of Duality, another card most decks already have. And now for traps, I've got 1 Magic Cylinder, 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device, 1 Gravity Bind, 1 Trap Stun, 1 Royal Decree, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 7 Tools of the Bandit, 1 Metal Reflect Slime, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Starlight Road, and 1 XYZ Reborn. My deck, I like to use Gravity Bind a lot because, as you know, XYZ monsters, they are not affected by cards that target levels because they have ranks. So I like to hold down the field with Gravity Bind and bring out those XYZ monsters, you know, to have a little bit of an advantage over that. Metal Reflect Slime always lets me stall a little bit to get those cards that I need. Other than that, you've got your Torrential Tribute, you know, which will blow up the field, which helps a lot. I've got I've got a few cards, Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force. They both negate attacks, which is really useful. Royal Decree. Royal Decree I feel is essential because everybody plays trap cards now. It just gets annoying with all the solemn warnings, the bottomless trap holes, the deep prisons. So I find this card really helpful. You know, Trap Stun as well, negates for an entire turn. Starlight Road I like to carry because a lot of people use that Heavy Storm. Starlight Road gets rid of Heavy Storm and it lets you summon a Stardust Dragon. XYZ Reborn is just something I thought I'd try as well. It's a little different from everything else. It's interesting because rather than have something like a Solemn, I can bring back one of my XYZ monsters with a decent effect. So next is just 7 Tools of the Bandit to negate a trap card, and compulsory because some monsters, some cards are against cards that destroy a monster. So I can activate this on any XYZ or Synchro monster that has the effect to destroy it, or an effect that negates when it would be destroyed, and send it right back to the top of the extra deck. For my extra deck, I like to run a Scrap Dragon, Iron Chain Dragon, Bryonic Dragon of the Ice Barrier, Ally of Justice Catastor, Stardust Dragon, X-Saber Wayne, Junk Destroyer, Orient Dragon, Junk Archer, 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Colossal Fighter, Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon, MX Saver Invoker, Utopia, and a Blade Armor Ninja. So the reason for running Orient Dragon, I mean, I know a lot of people don't use Synchros anymore. They prefer to move on to Exceed. But in case that one person has that one Synchro that just really destroys, this is a good card because this will banish any Synchro monster when it's summoned. Iron Chain Dragon always hurts. It mills. So that's a nice card to carry. Bryonic, staple card, you know, you've always got to have it. Scrap Dragon as well. Stardust Dragon. Colossal Fighter I like to have because, as you know, my deck has a lot of warriors. So Colossal Fighter helps me out as a beat stick. Catastor, it destroys anything that's not dark. And then I like to carry X-Saber Wayne because if I bring out X-Saber Wayne, I can special summon another warrior type. And I've got quite a few in my deck. Also, he's a level 5, so if I manage to get another level 5, like maybe Catastor, I can always bring out Adrius, who has a pretty good effect. Blade Armor Ninja is just pretty cool. I just like to run him because I used to be a big fan of Mataza the Zapper and Hayabusa Knights that could attack twice. So when I found an Exceed monster that has a good attack and could do the same thing, I knew I had to have him in my deck. MX Saver Invoker, he's pretty good about, you detach and you special summon a level 4 Earth type warrior monster. I like to bring out my Cyber Gymnast with him. So as soon as he gets on the field, detach, bring out a Cyber Gymnast, discard a card, and you can get rid of a monster. Utopia is really helpful as far as negating attacks. Junk Destroyer and Junk Archer, remove one from play for a turn, and Junk Archer will destroy cards up to the number of non-tuners that were used for him. Red Dragon Archfiend, good card. It destroys all defense position monsters, so I like to run it in my deck just because of that. Now for my side deck, my side deck isn't really finished. It needs a lot of work. It's really not a side deck. It's just something I threw together for now. I've got 1 Quilbull Hedgehog, 1 Amazon Sage, 1 Kameguchi Knight, 1 Mobius, 1 Penguin Soldier, 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Level Limit Area B, a Star Changer, a Deck Devastation Virus, Sakuretsu Armor, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, Gravity Bind, Synchro Material, Copy Knight, and Return from the Different Dimension. This Return from a Different Dimension I like to carry because I have a friend, another team boss member, who does nothing but banish, and it really destroys my deck because a lot of my stuff comes back from my graveyard. So I just figured a lot of those Macrocosmos decks, this will help out a lot. Scrap Iron Scarecrow, Gravity Bind, and Level Limit Area B. When I like to stall, I will side these in and give the opponent a hard time trying to get rid of a lot of cards that stop him from making his attacks. Deck Devastation Virus is a card that I find interesting. A lot of decks now carry lower level weak monsters, so I like to carry this as a side if I'm playing against something like 6-Ams. It destroys those weak monsters. Copy Knight is just something I got in a pack recently. Thought it was interesting. So when you normal summon a level 4 warrior type monster, level 4 or lower warrior type monster, makes a token with the same level. So that's pretty good for XYZ, for exceeding. Synchro material, you get to use one of your opponent's monsters as a synchro material, and the other one just has to be your tuner, or if they've got the tuner, it doesn't matter. It really helps, kind of like a soul exchange type thing, but for synchros. Sakuretsu Armor destroys the attacking monster, always good to have one. My Star Changer I like to use only when I feel like I'm ahead, and this allows me to change a monster's level by 1, decrease or increase. Cyber Dragon, always helpful. Mobius as well, destroy back row. Penguin Soldier to bounce. Kamiguchi Knight, when a monster summoned, when a level 3 monster is summoned, normal summon, you can special him from your hand. It's pretty good because I've got a lot of level 3 monsters. I'm thinking about running more of him. Quillbolt Hedgehog always helps from the graveyard, especially when you're doing synchros. And Amazoness Sage, when she attacks, you get to destroy one spell or trap on the field. Alright guys, so that's my deck. And this is Serg from Team Boss. Duel like a boss. And I'm out.